And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the HighLowSports podcast. And a happy Thanksgiving week to all of you and to those who celebrate. Is DJ joined as always by my co-host Kelsey for what is probably our favorite holiday of the year. At least it is for me. I'm pretty sure it's definitely top two for you.
Yeah. I mean, look at me. Obviously, any eating holiday is going to be top on my list, and Thanksgiving is number one, and it's not even close.
Absolutely. And if anyone has been here before, they've seen this kind of episode before, but we're going to be, instead of just doing the normal sports back and forth, while there are some very good games going on this week, especially the Thanksgiving Day games, a couple interesting ones and a good one or two, but you know what? There are those to go with. We're going to do a little something fun. We're going to integrate a draft, but with Thanksgiving. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a draft of our favorite Thanksgiving spreads. We're going to draft the ideal meal for Thanksgiving from appetizers, drinks, primary protein, side, veggies, desserts, and just, you know what, maybe something just random that we come from different parts of the country. Maybe it's just some weird little things that are only noticeable there. And of course, whatever we could pop up into our head too, because it should be a very fun time to see which one of us can create a plate that matches the other.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. This is always, again, like I said, eating holidays, one of my favorite times. So you better believe I have a list. So I'm ready for emergency picks if I need to. But it is fun because we suck at making lists and not cheating. I don't think there's any lie about it. One of us always has to manage a cheat list. This year, we're going to do it a little different. We're going to put in a wild card option at the very end. So if there's something you want to sneak back in, maybe you can snag we'll call it an undrafted free agent in the wild card round. How's that sound?
Hey, it works for me because undrafted free agents, especially in fantasy football, guys like Bucky Irving will win you leagues and Kyron Williams last year. But it is a draft. Unfortunately, we have the exact same record of disappointment today. So we have to settle this the old-fashioned way, and it's one that Kelsey knows very well and close to his heart. We're going to be doing a coin flip to go ahead and settle this. And, well, Kelsey, due to the namesake, you get to call it first. Go ahead and call it.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go with heads on this one.
And it is flipping, and it is heads, so you will get to decide. Would you like to go first, or would you like to defer?
So it is a snake draft, so I think it's worth noting that it is a snake draft, which means there is a double pick on one end of it every time. The second person goes again first. So, DJ, I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to let you take this one and kind of lead the way, if you will.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. The first thing out of the gate, we have the appetizers, the things that you get right out of the gate. Small little things that it's not supposed to ruin your meal, but if you're like my mom who already has a small stomach and can't help herself, it ruins your meal anyway. Which, speaking of which, I'm going to go and start with the one that she does. We're going to go chips with a habanero and cream cheese sauce, a pineapple habanero cream cheese sauce. So you scoop it. It's very good, a very awkward mix, but if you're like my mom and you have no self-control, you run out of it and you're full before the turkey or whatever protein is even done. So pineapple habanero cream cheese sauce with a little bit of chips.
That's a good one. I do like that. I could have gone to another cream cheese base, but I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't want to go back into the cream cheese spot here for an appetizer. I do like that, though. We've talked about one in previous editions of this, some of the more sweet cream cheese ones that I do enjoy. But I don't want to go there. I want to go a little savory here, a little bit more of a maybe hold you over until maybe you have a late dinner. I'm going to go pigs in a blanket as my first overall. So I'm going to go, got to go with the little piggies in the blanket.
That's a good one. Have to ask, though, is it actual pigs in a blanket or is it like turkey pigs in a blanket, like using like the turkey sausages or chicken sausages, or is it the actual pig in the blanket?
Round face means I got to get the fattier option. I don't hate turkey sausage, turkey bacon. I don't hate it by any means. I'm also lazy, so the those little ones, the little beanie weenies, they're the small hot dogs that go in the beans and whatever. I can never remember the name of it. I called them beanie weenies. Everybody else calls them something different. I'm the wrong one, I guess. I don't know.
Little Smokies, maybe.
Yeah, little Smokies. Thank you. Those are what I usually end up just stuffing inside a little biscuit. So it works. Works for me.
Hey, it works. I just had to make sure, because if there's a leeway, and once wild card runs around, I'm seeing if there's some leeway there. Sometimes you got to finagle the draft in weird ways.
If you want, honestly, if you want to make a turkey option for it, I'm more than okay to let you have that one. I'm just not for me. Not for me at all.
Not for me either. I don't know why I was even asking. I had to leave the loophole for anyone listening who might be trying to craft their own meal to compete against ours.
But now I did say there's no rule breaking this year, right? I might bend the rules here on my second pick. So go figure. We made it 3 picks, and I'm already trying to break the rules here. Let me know if I can keep this one. but I'm going to go with the skin from the turkey when it gets out. So when the
Oh, we're
turkey
gonna
gets
do that.
pulled, yeah,
Okay.
and it's just look. I'm already have something that's going to be to the point. Now the turkey's out. Well, somebody's got to be the one that steals the skin off the turkey. Might as well be me.
Like, I don't want to say I don't think that's cheating as much as I want to say it is, but I can't think of a good reason that it is. So I think it stands. I think that is not roughing the passer. I think it's good to go.
Yeah. It feels like almost like a legal formation, but there's too many of those calls this year, anyways. So I wanted to test the waters on this one.
Well, you know what? We're gonna call it good. And since we are on appetizer still, there's a lot of illegal man down the field. We're gonna do something like that. We're gonna keep everything at home, and we're gonna bend the rules ourselves with a charcuterie board as an appetizer. So we're gonna go ahead and go with a full charcuterie board just to match the picture here. We got a little bit of the salamis, a little bit of the cheeses, and a little bit of the crackers. So
I like it. I honestly, I thought about it, and I was like, I almost feel like it's taking too much by taking the charcuterie board early. So
that's fair. So you know what? That is kind of
no,
fair.
no,
Charcuterie
I'm
board's like
cool with
6
it.
things. It is
I'm
like
cool
6
with it.
things. So if you do want something that's on a charcuterie board later, you can take it. So if you want cheese or something, it's all yours.
Well, okay, I'll leave that open just because there might be something a little bit later I might end up taking. But for now, I'm good with you taking the whole charcuterie board. That makes sense. I don't hate
Once again, though, this is because the people in my family will fill up on this, and then that will leave the full course just completely unattended to because they have no discipline.
Yeah, my family too. Don't worry.
Which is good for us later on though, because we still got a whole lot to get through. And next is going to take us to we can't just eat the whole time. We have to have something to wash it down with. So we got ourselves a drink. Got to wet the whistle, if you will. And we're not counting water, so we're ruling water out because that's already
water
here.
out.
Like we're not. So we're gonna put basically unique drinks, if you will. It could be festive or it could just be not water. That's all there. That's really the only requirement at this point. But I'm going to try and keep mine a little bit fun. We're going to go with warm apple cider with a little touch of cinnamon too. So, we're going to go with the warm apple cider just to mix it up.
I like it. That was actually my first option. But like I said, I came with a list this time. So I'm prepared for literally everything. Now, the good thing about this with Thanksgiving, I don't have to go to work, meaning I can start my day off on a warm note as well, but also an alcoholic now. As I am over 21, so might as well wet my whistle in a different way. Yeah, exactly. But a little bit similar to what you said. You like that warm apple cider. I'm gonna go with a hot toddy.
Ooh, okay.
So for those that don't know, hot toddy is a hot whiskey, is what it's known as in Ireland. It's also occasionally called Southern cough syrup, which I always find is the hilarious nickname for it. But basically, it is a mixed drink with liquor and water with honey, lemon, herbs, and spices, and it's served hot. So usually whiskey is the main liquor that goes in there.
Can't argue that, honestly. I mean, that's a good way to get things going, especially when you got to watch your Dallas Cowboys every Thursday on Thanksgiving. You're gonna need that heavy, so that checks out.
Yeah, that's the tough part. I 10 out of 10 don't recommend having to watch the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. Actually, my boss made a joke about it when we chose our favorite things to do during Thanksgiving. And his was not watch the Cowboys play. And I said 10 out of 10 agree.
So no notes, completely matches up. But we got our drinks now. But Kelsey, you get the swing pick here, and you get to start with the protein. So this is why you picked this order. I know you lined it up because you wanted first dibs on an angry cow, a sassy duck, a thick pig, a goblin turkey, and a very confused chicken, among others.
Yeah, and I would say there's other proteins that I just couldn't find a good. Our graphics I couldn't find a good enough picture for. I do love the fact that the Oregon Duck made the appearance though. Their new commercial, I think it's Eckrich Farms commercial. Knowing about the mascot before you come to the tailgate, the guy brings a stuffed duck. Easily funniest commercial for the year. But yeah, no, this is exactly why I did it. I'm not missing out on this number one option for my protein. This is the consensus, all American. He's my number one home run pick. He is the Peyton Manning of this draft. May not look great initially, but once you perfect the recipe, he's a Hall of Famer. That's turkey. Absolutely turkey. There's no doubt in my mind it is turkey. There's so many ways you can cook it. And if you do it right, it is one of the most delicious things there. And it's always really good reheated. And that's always a benefit of getting turkey.
Honestly, if you didn't take turkey, I would have handed the card off to the fastest guy in our draft room and sprinted that thing to the podium, just like if back when like Andrew Luck, if he slipped to pick number 2, Caleb this last year, anytime there's that consensus and they slipped to 2, we are handing it to the fastest guy on our squad. And sprinting that card. We're not even thinking twice. We are pass and go, but not collecting $200.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pass up on this one. I'm not the Bears trying to pass up on Patty Mahomes here.
The pain, the suffering.
Sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not a Bears fan, so it's okay. But
I know exactly.
it's gonna move me on to mine. So the consensus number 1 is taken. So I think at this point you take the consensus number 2. You don't think about it. We're gonna take Ham. We're gonna take that middle wink, the little winker in the middle there. We're gonna go and take Ham. Consensus number 2. Turkey's gone. This is the one to go with. So we're gonna go with Ham.
This is the safe pick.
Honey it right too.
Yeah, this is the safe pick. I don't think I've ever gone somewhere for somebody's Thanksgiving meal and had ham and ever thought like, oh, this is gross. Does that make sense? Like, you can't really mess up the ham when it comes to Thanksgiving. I imagine you could if you just leave it in the oven for too long and you forget to put anything on it, or you just don't cook it long enough. But
you put raisins on it or something.
Yeah, let's just assume you know how to cook. The ham's not going to be bad. Like, it's just you can't really mess that one up.
It's either going to be good or it's going to be great. Like, that's kind of the 2 options. There's no the floor is very, very high. But the reason I was able to pick the ham is because I got the swing pick for our backup protein, the Robin to the Batman, if you will. We're gonna go with a little bit of the unconsensus one. This is the great one. If it's a Thanksgiving of like maybe 1 or 2 people, 2 or 3, a small group, we're gonna go with a roasted chicken. So you make it in a similar way as the turkey. It's a smaller one. It doesn't take up the entire oven or take the entire day. But we're gonna go with a roasted chicken. So maybe for someone who doesn't like ham or red meat, something like that, you have the chicken option here too. And in the same vein as the turkey, the right seasonings, the right glaze, the right amount of time to slow cook, chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, all 8, no crumbs.
I like it. I was wondering how you were going to pivot from a ham, though, whether you were going to go another red meat or you're going to flip back to I don't know. I guess it's not technically a red meat is a ham. I don't know. Pork, it's pork. So it's, maybe it's the other white meat. I'm not sure where that falls in the list. It's just such a middle ground. I don't ever know where somebody's going to go after that. So going with the chicken doesn't surprise me. I will say that's, again, another safe pick. Unlike turkey, you really can't mess up roast chicken.
You got to get something that flies and something with legs on the ground is what I had to do. So that's what we went with. So we got something that flies. And sorry, Oregon, you're number 1 in the country. I can't do you like that. So I'm going to leave that one out.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get Dan Lanning or the Oregon Duck mascot on my bad side either. I went with a bird. Does have wings. Doesn't really fly very far, though. Maybe 10, 15 feet at the most. And so in that vein, I'm going to go with a red meat here. Go with a good option. And this, again, I really like this for like small dinner parties, things like that. First Thanksgiving with a significant other, first Thanksgiving with just your parents, something like that as an adult. Steaks. I think steaks during Thanksgiving is an underrated meal. Also, this one doubles for Christmas for me. So spoiler alert for when we do the Christmas draft. But yeah, Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go steak here. Actually, no, I'm gonna pause that for a second. I'm gonna pivot it off of steak, but it's gonna say beef. I'm gonna go roast. I'm just gonna do a roast. Still a long cooking time, but more savory Thanksgiving type idea. You get some carrots, some potatoes in there. I'm gonna go roast here for my backup meat.
Interesting. Okay, so you had us in the first half there, not gonna lie, but you came back to roast to go. I like roast and turkey, and not
you said roast chicken, and I got my brain thinking of roast, and I was like, oh, just a good solid roast would be good.
Absolutely, sounds good to me. I mean, like, can we combine these Thanksgiving dinners? And I will need the stretchiest pants of all time, but I am for it.
I think this is the point in time where we need to call like Jimmy Dean or Eckrich Farms, see if they'll sponsor us, or Jenny O's, see if they'll get a sponsorship so we can put this meal together. I think that would be really cool. Give some meals out.
We'll document the weight loss journey after I put on 75 pounds too. Like, all right, how do I get back to homeostasis? But
I might have to document the hospital trip after that one. That would be fun.
Let us know if that's what you're looking forward to down below. But you got the backup proteins, but you get to lead the way as we get to the more common things. We got the sides, the things that you have on the side of the plates that they're the reason you're full at the end of the night. The proteins usually are what put you to sleep, but this is what has your tummy going, oh, because you just fly right through it.
Yeah, I feel like I somehow rigged this draft in my favor. I don't know how I managed this one. But sides, these are clutch ones. Now, this one we're picking 2 of as well, DJ. So listeners, we are picking 2. Now, these are non-veggie sides, to be specific. I know the image, if you're watching video, does show some carrots and Brussels sprouts in there. Carrots and Brussels sprouts in there. But necessarily not what we're going for here. More just sides in general. So with that in mind, going mashed potatoes as my number 1 side. I think it's a solid, just put a pin in all of this one.
Yeah, you're going very chalk so far too. The turkey, the mashed potatoes, like you got the chalk picks down to a T right now. And I think mashed potatoes is right there with it. Like there's no, it's never wrong. Even if you don't like the texture of it, or if someone doesn't like that, it's like, well, no ish, they're there. I'll just ignore them.
Exactly. Yeah. Again, this goes under one that I don't think I've ever gone to somebody's house and just ever had bad mashed potatoes.
You can either make them from scratch or you can literally pour it in a box with water. Either way, it's gonna work.
You don't even need the box now. There's literally it's in a bag now. You just microwave it if you're really lazy. I'm not that lazy, by the way. I will
I
actually
draw
make
the
real
line
mashed
up out there. That's close to where the
Yeah.
line is.
I will actually make my real mashed potatoes for Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, you got it. But sides, are we going back? Each going one side, going back and forth.
Yep. So this one's your first for sides.
Ooh, okay. So I there's a lot to go through here, but I'm gonna go with stuffing. I'm taking the chalk pick that's remaining there too. We don't really have too many. What's the word I'm looking for? There's not really a line on stuff like, oh, it has to be this kind of stuffing, that kind of just stuffing. That's what we're just gonna roll.
We're gonna combine stuffing and dressing for you, just so there's nobody's like, oh, but I get dressing. No, we're not doing that game this year. It is stuffing and dressing. So DJ, you get both for that one pick. So don't worry, it's not gonna take your second pick.
Perfect. So that's gonna lead you now to side number 2. The question is, where are you gonna go from here?
I don't know. Where are you gonna go first?
Okay, I'll go first again. For the swing, this is tough. I'm gonna go with sweet potato home fries. We're gonna keep the sweet potatoes. We're gonna make home fries a form of potato still. Luckily, potatoes are among the most versatile foods, so we can probably each had our sides entirely made of potatoes in some way. But we're gonna go with the sweet potato home fries, just because you already took the mash. So we're not gonna bend the rules that much. So I'll take sweet potato mash.
Yeah, that's good. So, question is, what type of fry? Like you said, home fries. Are we talking like chunked home fries, or are we talking like French fry fries, or steak fry fries, or maybe you're gonna be real fancy and go waffle cut?
Okay, we're not gonna get that fancy. No waffle cuts. Now we're gonna stick with the ones in the picture right over here. Probably we're just imagine those to be a little bit of light orange color, a little more of a light orange.
So the chunks. Yeah,
We'll
that's a good. I like that. That's a good combo for the sweet potato. I'm a big fan.
They'll complement the chicken and the ham and stuff like that a little bit nicer too than like the long straight fries. Like we had hamburgers on here for some reason, then yes, straight fries. But this is
I didn't even think about that as a protein. That's a good protein. All right. I like that pick. I was thinking sweet potato myself, but I'm not going to go sweet potato back to back here for my second side. I already got the potatoes, so I got mashed. So I'm going to take a roll, but a specific roll. I'm not going to play around with this just generic roll thing. I've always loved the potato rolls specifically, lightly cooked in the oven beforehand, just to warm them up, get a little bit more of a solid substance to them. So yeah, I'm gonna take potato rolls with some butter. I think the butter comes with it naturally, but I just have to say it anyways. So rolls and butter.
That's a good one, and like you said too, like the butter almost always comes with it, but there is like that rare occasion just in case. So better to have it than exactly.
So yeah, potato rolls and butter. As you said, potato goes in everything. Potato rolls. I know it's not technically like a big potato thing, but it counts. We're gonna put it in the potato category.
Hey, you know what it lines up in? This is very interesting. I'm going to go with one that's sometimes a hot topic. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I think everyone in between likes it at some point, just whether they consider it Thanksgiving food or not. We're going to go with mac and cheese for the other side here. Obviously, it has to be like the good mac and cheese, not like easy mac. Like it's like that homemade mac that maybe even a little breadcrumbs when you cut into it. It almost feels like you're cutting into a dessert. So we're going to go with mac and cheese on the side here to complement things. A little bit outlandish, depending on who you talk to. But I think for the right... It's good for because very few picky people are going to be like, ew, mac and cheese. So you're caught.
Now, do you want to take this as your wild card, DJ? Because you already have stuffing and you already have sweet potato fries.
You're right. I am picking early. I forgot that we did a swing on this one. So you know what?
Now, I mean, if you want to go ahead and buckle it in for your wild card, I'm okay with this.
I picked out of order. I can't. We're not doing that. I have to wait till my turn for the wild card.
All right. I was giving you the opportunity if you wanted it. I'm not going to tell. I already tried to break the rules of turkey skin. I'm not going to take this one away if you want it.
No, we'll wait till wild card because this is what I get. Because like I did as a kid, I tried to skip our next topic, which is of course the veggies. And for the veggies, Kelsey, I believe you are up, good sir.
Yeah. So veggies was always one of the things, just like you, I also tended to skip as a youngster. But as I got older, I realized maybe I do need to put a little color on my plate. However, I don't go crazy with the different colors You mentioned sweet potato fries as being orange and they'd be on your plate. Well, I'm going to match that orange by putting some roasted carrots on here. Ideally roasted with the turkey, or in the case of my second protein, with the roast, just to get some of that extra, flavor from the juices. But yeah, I'm gonna go roasted carrots for my veggie here. Obviously, there's a lot probably more common picks here, but I'm just trying to think of something that's a little bit out of the ordinary. I've picked some pretty chalk picks up to this point, so I got to switch it up a little bit.
Hey, you know what? I respect it. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna bend the rules a little bit here, depending on how we want to rank this one. I'm gonna go with green bean casserole because it is very veggie.
I'll let you have this one.
I'll say it's very veggie. If not, I have another one, but it is
Nope.
more veggie than not. It's like Darth Vader being more machine now than man. This is more veggie than not. So we're gonna throw in the green bean casserole.
No, that's all you, boss. This is always one that people bring to the holiday stuff, and I just ignore this entire plate. It's never any offense to the person who brings it. I have just never liked green bean casserole, and I don't know why. Maybe it just goes into the fact the name is casserole, like it has casserole in it, so I just have bad connotations of casseroles. But green beans don't bother me. I can eat green beans by themselves. The other stuff that's in casserole, especially if you put bacon in your green bean casserole, obviously I love that. But yeah, I just combine it together and call it a casserole. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But I do think it's an important thing to go in a bunch of Thanksgiving meals, so I don't blame you.
This is my chalk pick too. Like you got some of the early chalks, I'm getting some of the late chalks here. But
yeah, and you get a chance to double up on the chalks here, man. I'm a little jealous.
Because that's gonna take us to the part that we ran to after we skip past the veggies. We got the desserts, and I have a lot of desserts I like. Some of them are more niche just for me, but I can't let you have the obvious one. I gotta take the pumpkin pie. It's right there. I can't give it. I gave it away when we did it a couple of years last year because I decided to go with the family recipe pie, and that might have tilted that things a little bit more in your favor. So I can't just let 6-round Tom Brady walk out the door without he's right there, and I know he's going to be Tom Brady. So bring me the pumpkin pie.
Yeah, no, this is definitely a Tom Brady moment right now. I thought you were letting it go again. I was excited. I was actually absolutely ecstatic that you might let this one go. Obviously, could not be. So I couldn't just run the board with the chalk picks like I was hoping. I should have set up this draft just a little bit better. Maybe I would have been able to chalk this one up too. But no, you know what? I love the pumpkin pie pick, DJ. As you know, we talked about this last year on the draft, and actually a couple years before. My family does a double layer pumpkin pie, which is delicious. So that gets taken out because you took pumpkin pie. So I'm a little jealous, man. A little jealous. But let's see. All right, we're gonna switch my pick up then. Since you took my pumpkin pie option, we're gonna go a little bit more of a fruit flavor here. We're gonna go apple pie, but specifically apple pie with the lattice top on it. Yeah, with the lattice top on it. Preferably not the caramel apple pies, like a Dutch apple pie. That's where I'm at here. It's warm. Put a little side of vanilla ice cream on it if you have it. Since this is a draft, I don't get that option of bringing in the vanilla ice cream just yet. But you know what? That's my thought for it. Is I'm gonna get the Dutch apple pie for my dessert.
Yeah, I have absolutely no complaints. I may have took the chalk pick, but that's a very good second pick. No one's gonna be like, "Ew, no apple pie," and if they are, they're not. You know what? They shouldn't be at Thanksgiving anyway.
Yeah,
I kid people. Don't come after us. Like it's okay.
No, I agree with you. I would kick them out of my Thanksgiving as well.
Well, you know what? That'd make you kind of the wild card of Thanksgiving, which is going to take us to our last and final option. And Kelsey, you get to lead the way on wild card, which is, well, the name's pretty self-explanatory. You can take just about anything you want here.
This is amazing because I wasn't sure I was going to get the first pick of wild card. You laid a giant one earlier and let me know that you're thinking mac and cheese. I thought about it. Thought about pulling the still, but I'm not gonna do that to you this year. I'll let that one slide. No. You can have the mac and cheese.
Maybe it was a ruse. Maybe I wasn't going to take it.
No, it's all you. I'm going to go with one that maybe I don't like as much, but I know it hits at a very specific demographic in the United States, specifically my stepdad and the entire Southern population. I'm going to go with pecan pie. Pecan pie is one of the things, like, I guess because I've made it and the Caro syrup to me is just too sweet, but I cannot believe there is such a dessert that has a cult following like what pecan pie does. Like if you say pecan pie, people are going to look at you like, you're not making it right. It's just like one of those things. Like when see a northerner make sweet tea, you just know they're not making it right. Same thing. If you call it a pecan pie, it's going to be good. Pecan pie, and it's just like, meh, not so great. So pecan pie is where I'm going with this.
Very interesting, because I would say you are definitely not the pecan pie guy. So like this, you're not taking this for you. You're taking this so everybody else leaves your apple pie alone at the dip.
Exactly. This is the cover pick. This is the one I take so nobody else can have it. Like, I'm not letting you take this, but I will give you it after I take it.
Okay, you know what? I dig it. I'm a fan of it, and I'm gonna go in a similar vein to you, but I'm not taking the mac and cheese. That was my ruse attempt here, but I'm gonna go with sweet corn pudding. We're gonna have a little bit of a unique twist. I thought about cornbread, but we need a little bit more texture because you took the mashed potatoes. We've been working around that. We need something for people who just don't like to chew, basically. So we're gonna go with the sweet corn pudding to add nice creamy side with just a little bit of sweetness with it.
I like it. I like the use of the corn. I was gonna say though, the one thing I've noticed neither of us picked was just straight corn. Neither of us picked any form of corn other than what you just did with sweet corn pudding. I thought about like just straight instead of pecan pie, calling it corn and calling it swell. But yeah, I couldn't do it either. I just, it was one of those ones that just sit out there. So somehow in our entire list, corn and mac and cheese didn't make the cut. Neither did any salads, which I just want to throw out there. Like that just tracks for both of us.
That one was intended. The other two, it just kind of worked out that way because we ran out of picks. But that one was on purpose, though.
I like it. You know what? The one thing we didn't throw in here, and I'm just going to ask this question. This actually isn't a part of the draft. What is the one accoutrement, if you will? So I'm thinking like cranberry sauce. If there's any weird dressing or gravy or anything like that you use, ranch. Is there anything that you specifically have to have with every Thanksgiving meal like that?
Weirdly enough, no. Like I'm not a cranberry sauce guy. I do think with the mashed potatoes, a little bit of gravy goes a long way, but it has to be like good gravy. It can't just be any gravy, for example. But I do think it goes a long way. Maybe a splash on the turkey too, just for fun, especially if it's plate number 4, but you're kind of full, but you can't be like a little B word. You have to finish that 4th plate off, things out. So I'm not too picky though when it comes to those little extra things. Like I'm a pretty wide open book.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I will say though, I don't really eat it, but at the same time, it's nice to see it at the table every time I see it. And that's the cranberry jam, specifically the one that comes out of the metal can that has the ridges left from the can. I don't know why, but it's just like that's nostalgic. To see it on the table is nostalgic. Can I eat it? Do I eat it? No, but it's really nice to see it out there, anyways. I will say there was a year that I actually ate it when we had a random pork loin as our second protein, and I was like, why not? Let's try it. It was really good. I've not eaten it actively, put it on my plate since.
Hey, you know what? It's good to have it as an option if it is there too. But we have laid out our entire dream Thanksgiving. Well, not dream. Based on what was available, our Thanksgiving draft meals. Let us know down below in the comment section too what meals you would come up with if you had a Thanksgiving draft. Maybe some of the picks you thought we did that were just ridiculous. Maybe some of the picks that you didn't think about. So let us know what you do if in this situation you had to draft yourself a Thanksgiving meal. This is what we came up with this year. It's always fun to mix it up aside from just the regular sports talk that we do as well. Don't worry, that is coming back. Of course, it's not changing into a High-Low Sports food podcast. It's close, but it's not quite there yet. Of course, be sure to tune in. DJ's Best Bets on Sundays. Hopefully we can get out of this generational dry spell we're on. We, of course, got the coin flip, which will be resuming as well. We're taking this week off. This is Auburn, Alabama week. This is Iron Bowl week. Kelsey's got to lock in. He doesn't have time for this right now. This is rivalry week, so we got to focus on that.
Yeah, no, this is tough. This is going into this week is 3:30 game on Friday versus the dreaded Alabama. This is the game I hate every year. More so than Georgia, more so than everything else. This is the game I hate every year. More so than any upset that happens when Auburn's on the losing end. I don't care. This is the one that I hate because it's never fun. But thankfully, we do have Texas and Texas A&M to look forward to this year. The return of Texas and Texas A&M, and it actually means a heck of a lot as they are going to be playing for a berth to play Georgia in the SEC championship game.
And it might be Arch Manning leading the way too, with Quinn Ewers getting an MRA. So welcome in, young buck. You're back in the starting lineup. Here's your rival.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, we'll be back for championship week for all of our bets, for at least coin flip wise, and then DJ's best bets will be back the same week, which is just one more week after Thanksgiving. You guys can wait. Enjoy it. Enjoy the time off as we will. Enjoy the time with your family for sure and be safe.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Enjoy the time. Say I love you to at least one person on Thanksgiving, maybe 2, depending on how many people are around. Give the dogs pets and only limited amounts of treats, not too many. You don't spoil them too much, you'll never get them out of your face. But give them a little something. But we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, and we will see you all again next week.